Hello friends, in this video you have to discuss about the cascade form realization. I am Professor Barbudhe. In previous lecture you have discussed about the IR filter structure and IR transfer function that will provide h of z is equal to y of z upon x of z is equal to summation k is equal to 0 to n b of k multiplied with z to the power minus k, where divided by 1 plus summation k is equal to 1 to n a of k multiplied with z to the power minus k. That equation will provide the term y of z divided by x of z by expressing the numerator and denominator polynomials of the transfer function as a product of polynomials of a lower degree. A digital filter can be realized as a cascade of lower order filter section. Consider example that will be h of z is equal to y of z divided by x of z, expressed as h of z is equal to that p1 of z divided by d1 of z, then multiplied with p2 of z divided by d2 of z multiplied with p3 of z divided by d3 of z. Means this cascade form is normally described by cascade second order section. It means that whenever you have system function h of z and you want to cascade structure, then factor out the non-causal part. After that h of z is factored into product of second order terms in numerator and denominator, then you have get the particular value. Then cascade form of digital filter structure. Example that cascade realization obtained by different full zero pairing as shown in the below. Suppose you have considered that will be the first term you have generated, that will be h1 of z, h2 of z, h3 of z from input side and output side. Then that will perform the pair p1 of z divided by d1 of z, p2 of z divided by d2 of z. That will be the generalized structure provided by cascade filter, cascade form. Then let h of z be the transfer function of IR filter to be realized. Then express h of z in the form of h of z is equal to h1 of z multiplied with h2 of z multiplied with h3 of z and so on. Means you have to prepare that h1 of z, h2 of z, h3 of z and so on with respect to y of z divided by x of z, and realize each of h of z is optimized form of overall structure obtained called as a cascade form. It depends on the direct two form of realization. In previous lecture you have discussed about the direct one and direct two form, and in that direct two form is directly plot here for the cascade form realization. Then first problem on this cascade form, realize h of z is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2 z inverse multiplied with 1 plus 3 by 4 z inverse multiplied with 1 plus 7 by 4 z inverse divided by 1 plus 1 by 2 z inverse multiplied with 1 plus 5 by 4 z inverse. Realize it in cascade form. Given equation will be provided this. Then you have to convert this h of z into h1 of z, h2 of z and h3 of z. Means you have to convert that p1 of z divided by d1 of z, p2 of z divided by d2 of z and p3 of z divided by d3 of z. Here d3 of z is not available, means p3 of z is you have put consider as an h3 of z, right? Then you have cascade form realization plot. First consider this equation, then that will provide the numerator value in direct two forms. Suppose that will be the 1 will be provided as it is, then that will provide input side, that will be the minus 1 by 2 direction will be provided, that will be delay by one sample, that's why that will be put here. Then you have consider d1 of z, 1 you are not shown because that will be the 1 is already direction will be considered, that's why you are not put. Then 1 by 2 z inverse you have considered, that will be the inside, that's why you have to put arrow here, that will be the inside, means that will sign will change. Then for second that will be the p2 of z divided by d2 of z, h2 of z is equal to this term. Then you have considered that will be the 1 will be the arrow shown here, then plus 3 by 4 z inverse, that will be the 3 by 4 z inverse will be delay sample by one sample, that will be provided. Then 1 in a denominator, that will be the 1 plus 5 by 4 z inverse, means 1 will be the multiplier for this term, that will be the y of z, plus 5 by 4 delay by one sample. That's why that sign will change if you are consider that will be the arrow will be indicated inside. Then third, that will be the 1 plus 7 by 4 z inverse. The term will generate 1 in numerator, that will be the x of input term will be there, that's why arrow will be shown here, and delay sample of x of n will be provided by this, that will be the input, and that will generate the total cascade form realization. Next problem, realize h of z is equal to 1 upon 1 minus z az inverse to the power 3 in cascade form. Then given h of z is equal to this term, you have to solve this equation, that will generate h of z is equal to 1 upon this term, 1 upon this, 1 upon this. Means you have considered that will be the first term is considered as h1 of z, second term is h2 of z, and third term that is h3 of z. Then you have to put that will be in cascade form. Suppose you have considered that will be h of z is equal to y of z upon x of z, means there will be the output term is available and input term is always 1. That's why you have put that cascade form realization in direct 2 form. That's why the structure will be generated here. That will be the delay sample of A will be provided. One arrow is not shown because that will be the consider. Then second time that will be the 1 minus A z inverse, that will be the A z inverse will be generated, and last that will be the 1 minus A z inverse. This term will be generated. For that x of n there will be no value, and y of n, that will be the value will be generated, and you have changed the sign with respect to that y of n. Next problem, realize h of z is equal to 1 plus 2z inverse minus 3z to the power minus 2 divided by 1 minus 8z inverse plus 4z to the power minus 2 multiplied with 1 plus 4z inverse minus 6z to the power minus 4 divided by 1 plus 5z inverse plus 6z to the power minus 2. Then you have considered same h1 of z, h2 of z, and you have draw the structure with respect to this. First time, suppose you have considered that h1 of z. h1 of z will provide the terms, that will be the x of n term, then that will be the y of n term. Means you have changed the sign when y of term will be generated, that 8 will be plus, then 4 will be minus, and 1 sign will not provide because that will be the y of n term. And if you have changed the direction, then you have to put that 1. Then second time, that x of n 1 multiplier, 2 multiplier, and minus 3 multiplier for delay by 2 sample. Then same for this, that will be the input side, that will be 1 plus 4z inverse minus 6z to the power minus 2, 1 4 minus 6, and for output side, that is 1 minus 5 and minus 6. Sign will change when direction is goes inside. Then h of z is equal to this term. Then you have considered that will be h1 of z, h2 of z, and h3 of z. Then you have to put this equation, means first y of z divided by x of z, this will be the input term, that will be the output term. In that you have changed the sign, and this sign will be remain same, and that sign will change, and that sign will be same, because that will be the output term. When output term will be there will be sign change. Then thank you for your patience.